Walking. You hear about it all the time. Let's talk about how to optimize your walking time and how to build up without, or I guess I should say, while reducing the likelihood of injuring yourself if you've been really sedentary this whole time. Before we get started, I'm Katerina, and this is Level Up Life Project. We are at day 10 of my 28-day Healthy Waist Swimming Challenge. As I've mentioned, this is like things I am wanting to do and work on more consistently. Challenge has been great for me so far. Hope that if you've been following along, it's going really well for you. Um, so I mentioned from day one that walking is one of the key points, but I want to talk in a little more detail about something that I mentioned then and um, kind of really highlight a few things that I've kind of like sprinkled in about walking, just give it its own attention. So let's start with the most basic thing that a lot of people don't do when walking, which is breathe through your nose the whole time. I know this was new information for me when I learned it because there's this indication, um, not indication, there's this understanding that I think is pretty generalized that if you're doing exercise well, you should need to breathe through your mouth. And that's just not true. And it actually brings down the efficiency of our breath. I know a lot of this has tied back to breathing, but it's just one of like the most basic things that I feel like um, not enough attention is given to it. So if you are not used to going for walks while breathing through your mouth, and sometimes it's even encouraged, like, oh, walk while you talk. And not that you can't do that. I mean, if that's working for you, awesome. But if you want to optimize your walking time, walk while you breathe through your nose. And you may find that, like, the brisk pace that you're used to walking at, if you are taking brisk walks, is difficult or maybe nearly impossible to keep up if you don't open your mouth or do like really big breaths. Um, so, it's not wrong as you transition to walking while only breathing through your nose to like pause and catch your breath, but not in the sense of doing like a huge super breath, but just like pause, keep your breathing calm, and just like make sure that you don't get breathless. Um, so, walking while breathing calmly through your nose is going to optimize how your body is using that oxygen, and um, just it's just really good for you. Um, and it ties in really well with you being able to do the breath holds from a couple days ago. Well, in fact, I mentioned that day. If you can't walk while breathing through your nose, don't start the breath holds yet. So I wanted to give this like its own little highlight. And then the other part of this is if you haven't been walking or you've been walking, you know, a certain level and you're not getting the waist slimming results or um, weight loss results that you want because, we don't want to like, what are we slimming when we slim our waist? We want to lose fat. So one lever that can be pulled is to get more steps in every day. But I just really want to caution you about going like against going from extremely sedentary, maybe you're getting like less than 2,000 steps a day, to all of a sudden you're getting 10,000 steps a day. And so this is the part of minimizing the likelihood of injuring yourself. And what you can do for that is, first of all, get a baseline. Like if you haven't had a walking habit or you have a walking habit and you want to increase, um, get a pedometer. They cost like somewhere between $10 to $14 on Amazon or wherever you like to buy basic things. Um, so I didn't even grab it or remember to bring it with me for where I'm doing this video, but I have just like a really basic one, not fancy at all, doesn't link to phones or anything. But if you want a fancy one, do you? Or if you want to use your phone as your pedometer, that works if you want it to be that way. But you get a baseline and then increase gradually. So let's use that 2,000 steps as an example. In a given week, I wouldn't increase more than 3,000 steps. So if you say, okay, I've been doing 2,000, I want to go to 3,000, do 3,000 like several days this week and see how you feel. And then say, okay, 3,000 felt pretty good. And I'm not saying every single day, 7 days a week, you're going to get 3,000 steps, because life is life. And there are days where you can get 3,000 or 5,000 or 7,000 or whatever your step up is. And then there are days where life is going to happen and you're not, but try to make it that there are more days where you're getting them than you're not. And that'll make a difference for you. And yeah, so just like kind of gradually building up until you get, and I know that 10,000 steps is said everywhere. Perhaps like me, you've started to hear like, you're probably actually pretty good somewhere around like 7 to 8,000. Yeah, if you can get to the 10,000, that's awesome. But don't forget to count in. And this is one thing that I will say is a drawback of pedometers is like for me, going out and taking walks is something I enjoy but can't always do. So I am intentional about taking steps when I'm doing other things. Like if I'm cooking dinner, like while I'm stirring whatever is on the stove, I am taking steps there in front of the stove, or may turn that into like little like side steps because I like salsa. But just bringing more movement that's throughout your day and not just sectioned into, okay, this is my 30 minutes or my 60 minutes for exercise. But the point really behind the constant advice we hear to walk more and get 10,000 steps, get 7,000 steps, is not like steps are magical in themselves, but to get to 7,000 or 10,000 steps, that usually means for most people, you're going on more than one walk, right? You're like sprinkling that more throughout your day, just because that's more realistic for most people. And that in itself is part of where the benefit lies, that you are having active periods throughout your day and not just in this one little space, and then the rest of your day is sedentary. So, to recap, two things that I'm suggesting here in day 10 on walking. One is making sure you breathe through your nose, and two is to gradually increase what you're doing as far as activity throughout the day, whether that's walking outside or walking on a treadmill or walking back and forth in your house, or marching in place or dancing in place while you do other things. Just increase that amount of active time and it'll add up. So thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.